Hello and welcome to Rock Studios. My name is Gurvin Kaur and I am the Asia Pacific Content Lead at Rockwell Automation. And today joining me in the studio is Ben Sullivan. He is the Director of Channel and Alliance for Asia Pacific Japan at Dragos, one of our key technology partners. Hi Ben, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Good.
Amazing.
Exciting to have you here with us. Could you kick us off by sharing a little bit about who Dragos is and how does our partnership together help manufacturers in cybersecurity?
Certainly. So Dragos is an OT-focused cybersecurity technology company. So we are on a mission to safeguard civilization. And how we do that is by protecting manufacturers and industry in operational technology through visibility, detection and response with our technology in those environments.
Okay.
Dragos has a number of key capabilities, including intelligence, a technology platform that provides that capability, but also an incident response capability that is called upon globally to provide incident response services in the event that something does go terribly wrong in the environments that we both protect.
So let's look at what's happening currently in this day and time, because cyber threats are evolving every single day. It's getting more complex. So what are the key trends you see particularly that are impacting manufacturing?
Yeah, it's a great question. So manufacturing is one of the key industry verticals that are being targeted. In the last quarter of 2024, we saw 424 ransomware incidents in the industry, and manufacturing made up 70% of those ransomware incidents. So you can see quite clearly there that manufacturing is targeted by ransomware groups, and that was only a Q4 for last year in 2024. So you can imagine over the course of 12 months, that number just becomes really quite large.
Is there a reason why manufacturing is getting hit harder?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think the answer to that is it's an industry that relies on process and uptime. So manufacturing, if there was an incident in manufacturing, it relies on that productivity, which means that the revenue generating assets come to a halt. So therefore, there is a dollar attached to how long systems go down, which is a key reason that we see ransomware groups like Blackbuster coming to the forum for manufacturing ransomware. Yeah, I think the most important thing for manufacturing is to understand who they're protecting against. And the way you do that is by consuming intelligence and understanding who you're protecting against from a ransomware group, for instance, or the tactics and techniques that these groups are using. Once you have that intelligence-led approach, you're able to make faster decisions to support the security of the networks that you're looking to protect. Okay. So Dragos always recommends having that intelligence-first approach to decision-making in cybersecurity is vastly important.
Okay, so you're saying that with the knowledge comes the action.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so incident response planning is key in all OT organizations or organizations that have operational technology, primarily manufacturing. And the first step is understanding that operational technology is very different from information technology. So OT and IT, completely different in terms of your incident response preparedness. So the education starts there and aligning to the fact that there is a difference between IT and OT and not having the same incident response plan for IT into OT. Creating that plan based on specific scenarios, again, understanding what you're protecting against and who you're protecting yourself from, makes the incident response preparedness a lot easier. So creating those scenarios, testing out the incident response plan that you create, identifying those people who are key in the event that something does occur, having a process in place inclusive of operational technology protocols and controls with the right people in those places, and then testing them again with the intelligence-led approach.
Okay, so you mentioned something very important, right? Which is the difference between the IT and OT. Is that a common misconception you see where people might pull those together? And if so, like, are there other misconceptions that you are hearing when you speak to manufacturers? And give us the reality of that.
Yeah, I think there's two key misconceptions. And the first one, as you mentioned, is that An IT incident response plan will cover the OT because there are Windows operating systems in OT, and technology is technology. That is a clear misconception because they should be considered two separate networks, and the incident response planning should follow that as well. The second misconception is that we see Dragos responds to a lot of global incidents. And the common misconception there is that an air-gapped network protects you from everything. We see very commonly, once our incident responders go into these events and conduct triage and conduct the root cause analysis after an event, that the air gap wasn't quite air-gapped as much as they thought. And typically that's because the digital evolution in OT means that a lot of people need access to these networks and remote access to these networks, which puts holes in your air gap. So the two common misconceptions are that IT and OT are the same from an incident response, and also that there is an air gap solution will protect us from the outside world.
Okay, so does that mean we should just be clear that there's never really going to be 100%, where it's air gapped? There's always going to be something, or something might come along, because like we see, every day things are changing. There's new threats being, added.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the key thing there is to always be prepared, regardless of whether you have an air gapped system or not, and be prepared for that scenario that something does breach your air gap. What happens then? Having that preparedness is key, and not just relying on the fact that you have an air gap solution.
Okay. And last question, you mentioned about how we need to differentiate between IT and OT, but certain companies might not have that experience or skill set to do so. More OT in terms of security, what would you suggest they do then in such a situation?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that's where the partnership between Rockwell Automation and Dragos come in. Rockwell Automation have a really unique and a really unique offering to the cybersecurity market with your in-depth knowledge of the system of systems. So contacting Rockwell Automation and bringing Dragos into support, you've got the expertise from the system of systems. You've also got the expertise of the cybersecurity related experience. Combining those two together provides organizations the coverage they need from the top to the bottom of the OT layer.